Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving headfirst into one of the most explosive and emotionally charged storylines The Bold and the Beautiful has delivered in recent memory. The glamorous halls of Forrester Creations, once a symbol of innovation, legacy, and unstoppable fashion power, are now echoing with whispers of failure, betrayal, and shattered dreams. At the center of this unfolding disaster stand Thomas Forrester and Hope Logan, two characters whose fates have become dangerously intertwined. What happens when a fashion prodigy loses his edge? What happens when a woman who built her identity on hope suddenly finds herself standing in the ruins of everything she believed in? And most importantly, how does this collapse threaten to tear apart the Forrester family from the inside out? Today's video breaks it all down. From Thomas's stunning professional downfall to Hope's emotional devastation, from corporate chaos to deeply personal consequences. This is not just a fashion flop. This is a full-blown Forrester disaster. So buckle up because this storyline is intense, heartbreaking, and absolutely unforgettable. For years, Thomas Forrester was positioned as the crown jewel of the Forrester legacy. Born into fashion royalty, Thomas wasn't just coasting on his last name. He worked relentlessly to prove that he deserved his place at the top. Early on, viewers watched him struggle, stumble, and fight his way out of his father Ridge's shadow. Eventually, Thomas earned his reputation as a bold visionary. His designs were daring. His instincts were sharp. And when he partnered professionally with Hope Logan, something magical seemed to happen. Hope for the Future wasn't just a brand, it became a movement. Ethical fashion, emotional storytelling, and modern romance blended into a line that resonated with buyers and audiences alike. Thomas didn't just design clothes, he designed dreams. And for a time it looked like he could do no wrong. Hope Logan's dream, more than a fashion line. For Hope Logan, Hope for the Future was never simply about fabric and runway shows. It was personal. It was a symbol of who she was and what she stood for. Optimism, growth, and the belief that love and integrity could survive even in the cutthroat world of fashion. Hope poured her heart into this line. Every success felt like validation, not only of her creative vision but of her life choices. She believed in collaboration. She believed in second chances. And most of all, she believed in Thomas. That belief, as we are now seeing, may turn out to be her greatest mistake. The cracks begin to show. Every disaster begins with warning signs, and this one was no different. Long before the line officially collapsed, subtle cracks were forming beneath the glossy surface. Insiders began to question whether Thomas was truly focused. His designs, once praised for originality, started to feel repetitive, almost rushed. Executives noticed missed deadlines. Buyers sensed hesitation. The buzz that once surrounded Hope for the Future began to fade, replaced by uncomfortable silence. And Hope? He felt it too. At first she tried to ignore the signs. She reassured herself that every brand goes through rough patches. She defended Thomas in meetings, insisting that he just needed time and trust. But deep down, fear was creeping in. The runway disaster that changed everything. Then came the moment. The fashion show that was supposed to reaffirm Hope for the Future as a flagship Forrester brand instead became the beginning of its end. The designs failed to impress. Critics were underwhelmed. Buyers were unconvinced. Whispers spread like wildfire through the audience. Cameras captured forced smiles. Applause felt polite rather than passionate. Behind the scenes, the mood was devastating. Thomas knew immediately, this was a failure. Not a minor setback. A collapse. Thomas Forrester, a man confronted by his own limits. For perhaps the first time in his career, Thomas was forced to face a terrifying possibility. What if he had lost his magic? This wasn't just about one bad collection. It was about identity. Thomas had always defined himself by his talent. Without it, who was he? The pressure began to crush him. Self-doubt replaced confidence. Frustration turned into defensiveness. And rather than openly confronting the issue, Thomas started pulling away, emotionally and professionally. That distance would soon cost him everything. Hope shattered, when faith turns into betrayal. For Hope Logan, the fallout was brutal. She had stood by Thomas when others warned her not to. She had defended him against Steffi's skepticism, Ridge's concerns, and Brooke's instincts. And now the failure of the line felt like a personal betrayal. Not because Thomas failed, but because he failed her. Hope wasn't just losing a fashion line. She was losing her sense of purpose. her belief in collaboration, her trust in the man she once believed in wholeheartedly. The pain on her face said it all. This wasn't a disappointment. This was devastation. Rich Forrester steps in, business over blood. As always, Rich Forrester found himself caught between fatherhood and leadership. Watching his son spiral was painful, but allowing Forrester Creations to suffer was unacceptable. Rich had to make the hardest decision of all: protect the company even if it meant sidelining his own son. Boardroom discussions turned tense. Financial projections painted a grim picture. And suddenly, hope for the future was no longer viewed as an asset, but as a liability. The Forrester legacy was on the line. Steffi Forrester's perspective. A storm she saw coming. Steffi Forrester didn't look surprised. From the very beginning, she had questioned Thomas and Hope's professional partnership. She warned that emotions were clouding judgment. She insisted that business decisions should never be driven by feelings. Now, with the line collapsing, Steffi's warnings seemed prophetic. But don't mistake her confidence for cruelty. Even Steffi struggled with watching her brother unravel. The difference was that Steffi was prepared to make the tough calls, no matter who got hurt. Brooke Logan, a mother's worst fear realized. For Brooke Logan, this disaster hit close to home. She had always been protective of Hope, and her instincts had told her that trusting Thomas so deeply was risky. Watching her daughter's dreams crumble confirmed her worst fears. Brooke didn't see this as a business failure. She saw it as emotional damage that might take years to heal. And once again, old Logan Forrester tensions threatened to resurface with renewed intensity. What happens next? With hope for the future on the chopping block, the future is more uncertain than ever. Will Forrester Creations pull the plug completely? Can Thomas redeem himself? Or is this the end of his reign as a top designer? And what about Hope? Will she walk away from fashion altogether? Will this heartbreak harden her, or push her toward an unexpected new beginning? One thing is certain: nothing will ever be the same. A collapse that will change everything. This isn't just another dramatic arc. This is a turning point. Thomas Forrester's failure has shaken the foundation of Forrester Creations. Hope Logan's shattered dream has exposed the emotional cost of blind faith. And the Forrester family now stands divided between loyalty and logic, love and leadership. As the dust settles, new alliances will form, old wounds will reopen, and the consequences of this collapse will ripple through every corner of the bold and the beautiful. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, subscribe and share your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Thomas can make a comeback? Has Hope lost too much to recover? Until next time, stay bold, stay beautiful and stay tuned.